Hey, Kwan Family 101. So there have been 8 reunions since 2002, and these are descendants of Kwan Yuen-Cheung and Lai A-Mui. So if you have 4 digits in your code, then KYC was your great-great-grandfather. If you have 5 digits, he was your great-great-great-grandfather. So if you don't know your code, let me explain to you the coding system. So I am 6313, Terry Lee. So KYC was my great-great-grandfather. He had 15 children, and number 6 was my great-grandfather. So number 6 had 12 children, and my grandfather was number 3. My grandfather had 3 children. My mother was the first, and I am the third, the youngest child of 3. So 6313. So note, not all Kwans are in at our family reunion, and Michelle Kwan, unfortunately, is not in our branch. So KYC, of course, had brothers themselves, and he had 3 other brothers, and we refer to them as A, B, and D. And KYC is brother number C. And descendants of these other branches have and probably will be at our reunion. So let's talk about KYC and Lai A-Mui. So we're talking about southern part of China, Guangdong, Canton, and Hong Kong. Quick fun facts, KYC was the first Western-trained dentist in Hong Kong. Lai A-Mui was an orphan raised in the British and Chinese home. Family members were some of the earliest converts to Christianity. Notable family members, Kevin Kwan, Nancy Kwan, the famous actress from the 60s and 70s, Western-trained physician, royal physician for the Empress Dowager. And here are just a few other notable and interesting family members. So back to history, other ties that our family had to is to the Chinese Revolution, not the Cultural Revolution, and also they were parts of the first wave of Chinese students sent to the U.S. So KYC was also his father was one of the earliest converts to Christianity. And KYC himself worked at the London Missionary Society, first as a janitor, then as a printer, and then a dental apprentice, and eventually he opened his own private dentist practice in Guangdong. Lai A-Mui, her background is interesting, as their family were refugees headed towards Canton during a civil war in China. The mother was killed by bandits, and the 2 sons were lost, and the father and daughter were looking for the 2 brothers, and they decided to rest at a house, and the lady of the house, the father said, here's my daughter, take care of her while I go look for my sons, and I'll be right back, or I'll be back. And he never returned. So this daughter was adopted into this Caldwell family, a British official and a Chinese wife. And eventually this family became had 12 biological children and 20 adopted children. So this family themselves, that's another story, very interesting. So that's for another time. Here's just a backdrop at the professions that these 15 children went into. So if you look at these, church worker, naval officers, physicians, midwives, and more physicians, engineer, a hospital director, and engineer. So we've got heavy on the medical side that professions went into, working for the church, and 2 engineers. So geographically, these 15 did spread out. Most of them did stay in China, but you can see here, one went to Malaysia, and 3 were in northern part of China and other parts besides Hong Kong. So here is just an overview of how big, how many descendants the 15 kids had. So you don't have to memorize this, but just see the general overall that there are lots of descendants and grandchildren that are right in the middle between 6 and 9. But we've got a lot of 2s and a lot of 12s also. So here is a family birthday photograph. I hope you enjoy this background overview of the Kwan family, just of KYC and Lai A-Mui. So there are lots of other stories to talk about, very interesting stories, but that is for another time. So thanks for listening.